Mr. Skipworth.
Thank you. Yeah, chickens. You know why a chicken coop has 2 doors?
I'm trying to be serious as a heart attack here, and you're talking about...
If it had 4 doors, it'd be a chicken sedan. So, having said that, it's interesting. Mr. Haley uses a very familiar phrase about fighting City Hall. And I'm not trying to select words or anything, but I think that part of our responsibilities include creating more of an environment where people don't have to fight City Hall, but rather just work toward helping us become better informed and then make decisions from that. And our responsibility is to understand that information and then work diligently to the best possible choices we can based on all of our different sources of information. I appreciate, in this most recent study session, I was unfortunately away for some professional training, but if I remember correctly, that study session occurred in the afternoon, correct? About 3:30 again?
Yes.
And I know that evening council chats have been sparsely attended more often than not. But I do think the concept of transparency, as Mr. Haley just reinforced just a moment ago, and I've heard my colleagues and I talk about transparency on a frequent basis because it is an important concept to us. But I will suggest that transparency, while a fine thing, isn't nearly as good as inclusivity, where you're actually bringing people in. Being able to look through and see something is one thing. Being able to be invited in so you can see what's going on and hear what's going on a more active basis, I think, is far more valuable to people. And I think part of what we're working for, and I think part of what people would like to be a part of. And whether or not they want to attend on a given night is really less important than the fact that we provide the opportunity for people to pursue that opportunity to come in and see and hear and perhaps engage in a dialogue that, sometimes it exceeds 3 minutes. It does. And you're right that it's largely, that's the prescribed length of time, but, that 3 minutes, is a product of negotiation. It's, when we refer to it as a law or an ordinance or something like that, it takes on a little bit more of an authoritative concept than I think it really needs, because the fact of the matter is, I know that one of the things that I'm very proud about what the council here has done on more occasions than not is when someone comes up and has several comments, many occasions, we've demonstrated an interest to clarify points, to follow up with a couple of questions that far exceed that 3-minute time frame more often than not. And I think that is very important. That is a law, gravity. But the length of time for which somebody can speak, we try to work with that to understand the specific needs or interests or concerns when somebody takes the time to come here and represent those needs or concerns or interests so that we can act responsibly toward them. I support the idea of council chats. I think they're a terrific idea. I like them a lot. The majority of us have had the great privilege of serving the city as a mayor, and in some cases more than once. And we all try to do what we can to reach out and try different methods or different techniques to gain more information so that we can become better informed and be more directly involved and engaged with people who have really very substantial interest or long-standing concerns about something, and give that environment where that conversation can take place. My personal preference, and it is merely that, my personal preference is that it would be, in my opinion, a much greater thing if it occurred at a time that's consistent when we do council meetings. People are used to us convening in the evening. People are used to us being here at this time. People are used to seeing a number of our directors. Maybe not all of them would need to attend on most nights. Maybe they could take turns. I don't know. I know that's been discussed in the past, and the council chats in the past have typically only involved the city council members. But I think in the evening it does provide that opportunity where a few more people who aren't commuting and working either in or outside of the area have the opportunity to rush home, have dinner, as Mr. Haley stated, and still come down here and join us and perhaps share an idea, or just as importantly, hear someone else's idea and gain a little bit more information from that. I'd love to see that happen more so in the future. But I do support the fact that each of my colleagues have demonstrated great interest in working with and listening to and learning from our neighbors, our friends, community leaders, community members, people of all walks, people who share the same common interests that we do about being a part of the city of Corona. My preference, again, is if we could do that during the evening where more people have the opportunity to join us to do that, that would be a wonderful thing. And that concludes my comments for this evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor.